Hello, April and Dawn. Thank you both for being willing to come back to therapy and talk openly about what has been happening with Leo. I know that what you are experiencing is painful, but throughout our conversation that we had before, I heard feelings of exhaustion, hopelessness, frustration, sadness, and even guilt. I also heard how much you both love Leo and how much effort you guys have invested in building a relationship with him over the years. I want to talk about, what I want to talk about today is parenting. Is a parenting approach. It's called PACE. And PACE was developed by Dan Hughes and is commonly used with children who have experienced attachment difficulties and developmental trauma. What PACE stands for is playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, and empathy. These four principles help parents stay emotionally connected to their child, even during difficult moments. They also help create a safe environment, which is something Leo desperately needs. Um, to begin, I want to talk about playfulness. When we hear the word playfulness, many people think it is something joking, like joking around or making light of a serious situation. But in this case, this is not what it means. Playfulness is about creating an atmosphere that is warm, light, and emotionally safe. Children with attachment wounds, they often experience criticism, rejection, or conflict. Um, so playfulness can help lower their defenses. An example of playfulness for Leo's situation. Imagine Leo is refusing to come to dinner, and he is hiding in his room. Instead of saying, "Leo, I've told you 3 times already. Can you please come downstairs?" You might gently say, I wonder if a mysterious creature has taken over Leo's room and is preventing him from coming to dinner. Something like along the lines like that. Just something playful like that. Another example of playfulness that you could use. It might be when Leo is being stubborn about maybe finishing his homework rather than immediately engaging in a power struggle and a push and pull. You could say, I think your math book and I are both wondering if we're going to survive this evening. Something playful like that, just to get him to engage with you. And the goal is not to ignore the behavior. More so, the expectation still remains, but the playful approach reduces tension and helps preserve the relationship while addressing the issue. The second principle is acceptance. In this case, again, acceptance does not mean approving of any inappropriate behaviors, but instead it means accepting Leo's feelings, his personal thoughts, and his experiences, even during times when his behaviors need correction. So, one thing that you could do is, Leo seems to believe that because there is a new baby, he is less important to the family. Whether that belief is true or not, it is very real to him emotionally, and to notice that, and yes, to notice that would be accepting how he feels. Um, and an example of acceptance would be saying, Leo, it sounds like you're worried about mom and dad's love, and that it may be going to the baby more than you, or maybe that the baby will love the baby more than you. So you notice that um, you're not agreeing with his belief. You're simply accepting it and acknowledging it that this is how he feels. Another example would be if Leo says, "You're not my real dad," to Don. Don, rather than arguing or becoming defensive, Don could respond by saying, "It sounds like you're feeling really hurt and angry right now." And again, acceptance focuses on the emotional feelings beneath the behavior. When children feel understood, they often become less defensive. And moving on to the third principle of PACE, it's curiosity. Yes, curiosity is one of the most powerful tools in attachment focused parenting. Curiosity in this case means wondering about what is happening underneath the behavior instead of immediately reacting to the behavior itself. For the situation, when Leo becomes angry or withdraws from the family, it's often easy to focus only on what he is doing, but curiosity asks what might be causing this. An example of curiosity is when Leo isolates himself in his room and avoids family activities, rather than assuming he is that he simply just doesn't care, or that he's um, or that he just needs space. You might say, "I wonder if being around the family feels difficult right now." That's something that you would say to him. Another example could be after an angry outburst. Instead of saying or question him, "Why would you act like that?" You might say, "I wonder if something happened today that made you feel overwhelming, or made things feel overwhelming." Curiosity communicates that you are trying, that you're trying to understand him rather than just judge him. This is especially important and crucial because children with attachment difficulties often assume that adults will criticize and reject them based off how they act. But curiosity sends the opposite message, and it says, I want to know what is happening inside your world. I want to understand how you're feeling. And so the final principle is empathy. So empathy, it means connecting and communicating that you are, or not that you are, but that you are genuinely trying to understand and care about what someone is experiencing. Empathy allows children to feel emotionally supported, even when they, or even when there are consequences, for their actions. An example would be after Leo has an outburst again. You could use empathy during this situation as well, and damage his property. You could hold him accountable while being empathetic by saying something along the lines that, "Leo, we're going to have to repair that wall, but I can see how overwhelmed and angry you feel in that moment." Another example would be when Leo is, struggling with a baby, struggling with your guys' newborn. You might say, I can imagine how hard it must be to uh, see so many changes happening around you. That sounds really scary sometimes. Empathy helps children feel secure, seen, and understood. It tells them that they're not alone in their struggle as well. And as I listen to both of you today, I think of the biggest challenges is that you have been experiencing what we call blocked care. Um, you have poured, and what blocked care is that you is when a parent pours so much of their energy into their child, and much of the time, most of the time, it feels like your efforts are rejected. That kind of rejection is painful, and I understand. The danger is that when parents are repeatedly hurt, they begin protecting themselves emotionally. They stop reaching out because they expect rejection. But unfortunately, when parents withdraw and children withdraw, everyone becomes disconnected. So, pace helps interrupt that style, playfulness helps reduce tension, acceptance helps Leo feel understood. Curiosity helps you understand what is beneath the behavior, and empathy helps restore emotional connection. And I want to emphasize something important, that the goal of PACE is not to eliminate every behavioral problem immediately. The goal is to strengthen the relationship. When the relationship becomes stronger, children often are more willing to receive guidance, correction, and support. So today we discussed the four principles of PACE: playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, and empathy. We explored practical ways um, each principle, and of how each principle can be used and implemented in your daily interactions with Leo, and how the tools can help you rebuild trust and connection within your family. I want to thank you both for being honest with me today. Um, I know that this journey is difficult, but I also believe that healing and a stronger attachment is possible. Um, we will continue working together, and I hope that we continue to work together to help your family reconnect and move forward. Thank you so much for coming today.